Hello everyone, this is King of Slings doing an unboxing and review for Laxo of Laxo Legacy LLC. I purchased a subadult female Cereopagopus species lambdong from him, and I'm going to be playing footage in the background. And I'm just going to review the process and his is he any good? Should you buy from him? Should you give him a chance and buy from his store? I'm going to talk about what happened, and I'm going to review him based on criteria. Pretty basic criteria of shipping and packaging, animal condition, professionalism, and the price/value that he offers. And I'll be talking about the spider I got as well. So when you go on Laxo's store, his webpage, it's I'm also going to be reviewing the store, I guess, too. It's pretty great UI, in my opinion, for a way better than a lot of the big famous, vendors. Like his page, I find a lot of the breeder pages are better just for navigation. Like it's way simpler, easy UI. I bought the spider over shop. I think you should download the shop app, make a shop account if you want to buy spiders, period. I think that's a good idea. There is a $50 purchase minimum, which excludes shipping. So that's just to make it worth his while. Because why would ship a $20 sling to someone and it's just pointless? So I get that, and that's just basic, and that should be basic and done every time. If you're gonna open your own store, that should be probably what you do. You scroll down. It's pretty simple. He has all what he's got on offer, all his products. He's got a lot of cool slings, but I don't want any slings. I'm actually not planning on getting any more tarantulas this year after this, unless I go to like an expo or a rare species that is available that is one of the few that I actually want, because I don't want any more small slings. I know that's kind of bad for a tarantula channel to not want to increase its collection exponentially. It's probably channel suicide, but I just don't want random slings. I have a lot of duplicates anyway. I did that to get females mostly. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to pause my collecting maybe until next year. I don't know, but it's not out of the question that I get a spider. So I got the Cereopagopus species lambdong, which is a old world fossorial. It's these were all wild caught that he had, all these Asian species. These are all wild caught, and he nursed them back to health. Actually, if you look at his channel, he showed the process, which I guess is going to be factored into the animal condition, because he did that probably you know, at a loss. So that's good for him. So these are healthy animals. The one I got is healthy anyway. I can't speak for the others, but the one I got is very healthy. She's got a chubby butt, and she's really healthy despite what happened. But I'm going to talk about that further. It was on FedEx's end, and I mean, I don't think they did a bad thing, but it did take her way longer to arrive than normal, and I'll talk about that. So with FedEx, what happened was after he shipped the spider, FedEx had to hold it at a facility for the first day that it was going to arrive. Because of temperatures, it was around 90. It was a little over 90 on the day it was supposed to arrive. So I think that's correct. That's what they're supposed to do. The problem I feel, uh, this is just my opinion, that FedEx ended up shipping her across, from what I can track, across the country like 5 times over. I have no idea why they did this because they apparently shipped it to my local FedEx hub and then shipped it to upstate New York and then right back, allegedly, which is kind of crazy, but I don't know why they did that. But so she kind of traveled across country like 5 times over, which is a little unusual even for the conditions, the temperatures. Now, that being said, the packaging was very basic. It was professionally done. The spider was in packed well. It was very easy to get her out too. I just kind of let her come out, but it was easy enough to get the. He didn't overpack her. There was no heat pack, and considering it was around 91, between like 87 and 91 degrees that week she came. That was correct, and thank you, Laxo, for that. You don't get any stickers, nothing fancy, no free slings. I don't care about any of that, so that's fine. But just so you know, he's not going to do that. But I ordered the spider, and I want the spider, and I got this spider in great shape, and she was good. So, on the topic of shipping and packaging, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. He checked the temperature, he opted for not putting in the heat pack, and the spider was shipped great. The packaging was great. She isn't like overpacked, like I didn't have to, dig through a bunch of tissue paper to get her out. I just kind of unfolded it and she came out, let her come out. But she was packed snug enough, like kind of the perfect amount. So 10 out of 10 for that one. So, on the subject of animal condition, the spider that I got, the female Ceropagavus species lambdong, considering that Laxo healed the spiders back up, well, up I guess, because they had parasites, and he healed at least this one. I gotta give him an 11 out of 10. I mean, it doesn't really get better than that. A wild caught import, and he put the work in to get it up to, great health. She is a very healthy spider. She's active. She was almost active immediately out of the, you know, she immediately kind of went for the water. I kind of coaxed her to go to the water. This is a very healthy spider. You would never know that she was wild caught. So 11 out of 10 for that one. Like, he treats his animals exceptionally well. So, on the subject of professionalism, it didn't get to the point where I had to communicate with him. I have communicated with him over YouTube, but it just didn't get to that point. Anyway, you could just contact him on YouTube. He'll talk to you. So, I have to give it a 10 out of 10. Pretty basic. He's a nice guy overall. Yeah, there's no complaints, but I wasn't forced to talk to him because the spider came within the correct time frame, and that's mostly on FedEx to do that. Unless like he messes up a label, which in my case he did not, and I doubt he ever would. So I'm gonna put my name on the line to say that he's a professional guy and a great business owner. I do recommend you give him at least look at what he's got. If he's got something you were looking for, you should probably buy from him. It's better to buy from the breeders themselves, in my personal opinion. But that's my opinion. I have a mixed experience with the different vendors. Some of them are very good, but I prefer to buy from the breeder directly overall, and suggest you do too. Because some of those places they get, like, you see them on the channels, the famous channels, and they give you promo codes, and they suck and they treat you like trash, and the spiders like trash. But typically breeders, well, you might not get the free sling or the sticker. Not that there's anything wrong with those things, but I rather have the spider healthy and treated well and get my money's worth. And I feel like that's always going to be a breeder over a vendor in 99% of cases. So, going into the subject of price and value, in my personal case, this was a good deal for this species and size, I feel. This is my personal feeling on the deal. Um, Considering everything, it was a really great deal on a rare species that I want to attempt to breed. It's going to be hard to do because there aren't many in the hobby. There aren't many males, which is unfortunate. I was actually going to get a different species, but this species is very beautiful. I'm sure you're seeing her now as I'm talking. Um, but yeah, I have to give him a 10 out of 10 on that as well, because he's not screwing you over. He's giving you a good price on these spiders, so it's all you can really ask for. You know, better than some of the vendors, which will overprice the spiders. I mean, they might have to go a little bit higher to make money back on the spider, but they usually kind of price gouge. And there's another reason to go with the breeder, because they probably aren't going to price gouge you for a spider. Overall, I'm going to suggest you try Laxo Legacy's store. At least give it a shot. And he's cool, and it's got cool spiders for good prices. His overall score, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. I decided that right now. So, on the subject of the spider that I got, her name is Winnie. I love her very much. The enclosure that I'm using is 12 by 12 by 12 glass enclosure. I got this one off of Amazon. I will put it up right now. I got it for $60, which is really good overall. The substrate that I'm using is mostly peat moss for this one, because I ordered more different kinds. I was going to mix it up with the peat moss, but I was kind of forced to just use my peat moss. The peat moss that I'm using is 100% peat. It's organic. You don't want to use any other kind, but you can also get this on Amazon as well. And I also have a cork tube in the center because I was looking at footage of wild lambdongs, and they kind of live in a little inside the tubes of, like, maybe bamboo or other plants that kind of died out, so they kind of make it through the center of, like, dried out dead plants. They like live in the mountains of Vietnam, so they do like it a little cooler. That's why I added a deep layer of substrate. This is an Asian fossorial species, so you do want deep substrate and give them that option. Many will not do this, which just makes the spider's life and potentially your life more annoying. You don't want to do that. It's like 8 inches at its deepest. Unfortunately, somewhat, she did not use the cork bark as a hide. She came in, I coaxed her toward the water, I dribbled it down. She ended up crashing and taking a nap in the water for like 11 hours, which was funny and cute, but she was very thirsty. That was a hot spider. um, since then, she's explored and kind of rejected the deep soil and rejected the cork bark for now, and decided to make her hide, start digging right at the bottom, right underneath the water dish. That's her favorite spot. She loves the water dish, which is fine by me, but it also is kind of annoying. I kind of wish she would use the hide I made for her, but she has her own plans. And that's typical of the spiders. Just gotta watch them. They're kind of like little kids. They make their decisions, but sometimes it's not wise. But I'm not going to interfere. I'm going to let her do whatever she wants. She can make as many burrows as she wants, kick dirt wherever she wants. You just got to let them do their thing. So, yeah, ultimately, Laxo, thank you for the spider. It was a pleasure doing business with you. Anyone listening, please check out Laxo Legacy LLC. Just check out his inventory. Maybe he's got something you like. I do suggest it. I do suggest his store. Give him some money. If you have any questions, concerns, or suggestions for future content that you want to see, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. Please feel free to subscribe, like, ring the notification bell. And I will be making more content more regularly over the summer at least. I can't really guarantee past that.